Peace, family. Welcome to another episode of Broken Theory. Today we got the homie Jay Archer. What's good?
Hey, love is love. What's up, man?
Man, I
How's
appreciate
life?
you. Yeah,
I
right?
appreciate you for having me, bro.
No doubt, man. Appreciate you making some time, you know what I'm saying, to talk to us about your story, man. How'd you first get started with music?
Shit, originally I started writing poetry, you know, from the very beginning. Say around 8, 9. I really started to get into spoken word very early. I think for the most part, just watching or listening to my mother just be around the house, you know, just playing, whether it be Tupac or her just different early 2000 records, her early 2000 hip hop records, whether it be Cash Money, Tupac, or Criss Cross, even going as far back as the 90s.
Yeah.
Her favorite artist specifically was JAYE, so like that was the thing. Murder Inc. You know, that whole little
That's
era.
crazy.
Yeah, the hitmaker himself, the original Drake, right?
Yep.
So from there, like just I don't know, being just surrounded by music and even different creatives in general, whether it was like my mother's friends that she had, to where they whether they were DJs or event planners and whatnot, just kind of being surrounded by that from the jump, it kind of like really already sparked something in me to
that
where
creative energy.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just something I knew that I wanted to do, and eventually, once I got into it, once I started to develop my own perception of everything around me, it's kind of when I started to touch base with spoken word first, and from there I kind of just transitioned into writing rhymes and spitting just from listening to my older brother, TR. Yeah. So he was like really like the catalyst just for me, kind of just making that transition into rapping. And, from there, man, it was just something I had to develop over time, like just going from the early stages to my early teen years, and just really understanding and digging deep to get deeper into who I am, you know, and who I was becoming just from off of life experiences and whatnot. It's always been trial and error thing for me, you know, just I can say that even to this day, you know. I don't think any of us are perfect, you know, so like we do our best to try to make sense of all of this shit that goes on around us right now, and to find our own identity within the space. So that's kind of always been my mission, I guess, from the rip, you know. I think as you get older, you start to have more of a sense of clarity, you know.
Nah, definitely. So going from spoken word to making music, what was that transition like for you? Going from like not having to like really control you, like what you're saying, to like trying to stay like with a melody or just like rhyming and things like that. Like, what was that process like for you?
Yeah, you know, whenever poetry is done or spoken word, it's always, you know, a cappella, no beat, you know. There's no type of instrumentation to it. It's just raw, just unfiltered feelings. So starting off like that. See, naturally, I'm just an introverted person. I'm somebody that's like very reserved to myself, or in my mind, I'd say for the most part. So it kind of just came naturally in that sense when it came to writing, or just getting my feelings out there on paper. I started originally just writing stories, and then I got into poetry, and then from there, just really watching my brother on beat. You know, watching him in his little ciphers with his homies and shit. I'd be upstairs in the attic and I'd listen to him, and kind of just it caught along like that. Really, just whether it was from him or even just outside, being surrounded by music, you start to hear it, and you feel like it just correlates with what it is you already feeling. Especially with me just kind of doing poetry from the jump. I didn't necessarily see myself becoming an artist, like a rap artist, then when I was younger, because during that time, you know, it was in that space as a kid. You during the early 2000s, what you had the Locks, you had X, you had Hove, you had these different minds, but they were speaking from a perspective that I wasn't really involved with necessarily at that time, just being so young, you know. But one of the I could say, or two of the key artists that really struck that surge, that spark in me, was Pac and Nas. You know, from hearing them, really Nas, when I heard One Mic, when the first time I heard One Mic, and even from watching the video, I remember vividly I felt it, like especially at the third verse of Nas One Mic. Just everything he was saying, because it reflected shit that I was feeling within myself, and it almost felt hard for me to vocalize it, to put it into words up until I show somebody to where I feel like I can identify with them, you know. And even though I'm being older and whatnot, it was just it still spoke to me in a real way. And from there, I just really started to develop my sound like just better, just being on beat and jumping on beats, you know, just doing the shit. I think that's probably also where I get just an unorthodox type of style to like my approach with this shit, you know, just because of the raw, unfiltered version of it, but being able to capture those feelings and mold it into instrumentation, like weave it through beats.
No, so, I definitely feel it.
Yeah.
At what age would you say you were that you heard that One Mic song and just kind of started looking at pop like that?
Yeah, I was about eight or nine.
Yeah, how old are you now?
01. I'm 31 now.
Okay.
Yeah. 13, as I always say.
Nah, I feel it.
Yeah,
how
so
do you
like
just,
during that
yeah,
period,
go ahead.
it was just, during that period, like that's definitely what started it off for me, for sure. To say the least. Yeah.
How do you decide when a piece of music is ready to be shared with the world? Do you have like a specific process that you go through, or is it like more of like a feeling thing for you?
Yeah, I was just about to say it's more so something that I gotta feel, to where it's like sometimes I'd record a song that night and just be like, fuck it, we just gonna put it out. Sometimes it won't even be on, like, you know how people say, put it on streaming platforms or streaming and shit. I don't really follow those rules anymore. You know, for me, I think it's always been that way too. I release it how I feel it needs to be released, just to get it out. And,
sure.
What happens from there is sort of what happens with those particular records.
I think it's really important, you know what I'm saying, as an artist, to be in touch with your community, you know what I'm saying, and know who like likes what and da-da-da-da. And, you know, as an artist, you know what I mean, it's your, I wouldn't say like responsibility, but like you can make the decision, especially when you're independent, of like what you want to do and how. Like if you want to only put an album on vinyl and sell it for vinyl for a year and then put it on streaming platforms or give it out for free or whatever, you know what I'm saying, that's completely up to you, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
no, definitely,
you know, just cultivating that. Yeah, that
space while you're in that space. I think that's kind of one of the most interesting things about being an upcoming artist, or just even an artist that's, I guess, would you say, under the radar, you know, like that many probably haven't heard or come across yet, that I'm able to kind of just, I have leg room to do that, you know, that space where I could just create those environments. And like, whether it was a record that I made a few years back, a couple years back, it's something, if it's something that's regarded as being timeless, or it resonated with people in a real way, that's something that could be recycled for people to, for newer listeners to approach and take in what it is that they feel.
Nah, for sure.
Yeah.
What's your process like when you're working on an album?
You wanna know something, man? I haven't necessarily yet worked on like a solid project, like to where I could honestly say that, to where I've worked on one particular project where I made like a cohesive like decision of like, you know, aside from this recent project that I just released, Duality, the way I actually put this particular project together has been records from over the past years, like I said previously, that I kind of brought back into the fold of today, you know, because I felt like these particular records still resonated with shit that's happening out here around us, and just even my experience is something that I didn't want to go unnoticed with these particular 13 records, you know. That process in itself for this project, it felt very, which every project does, but this one project, it felt a lot more personal. Any projects that I dropped prior was more so just mixtapes, or what I call free mixtapes. So when I drop records on other niggas' beats and shit, I call them free mixes instead of remixes, you know, or freestyles. I call them free mixes. I like to even call my listeners free agents. I wouldn't necessarily call quote unquote fans and none of that shit. I look at them as free agents, meaning just individuals, just people who have their own sense of identity, their own sense of awareness. And like you say, our vibe attracts our tribe, you know? So again, anybody that feels a resonance like with what I'm working on, that's the connection, you know, that's how we connect. But for like I was saying, this project, I took my time in terms of sequencing the tracks in a particular way that I wanted to get a story across through the project. So with Duality, it was more so that, you know, mind over matter. Something that's not necessarily in black and white, but just still harnessing the energy of the truth in this world that we live in, you know, good and bad, love, hate.
So can you explain that process, that thought process behind putting the album together, like sequencing the tracks and things like that? What was that thought process like for you?
Yeah, it was really like just from a span of previous projects that I released with these particular records that was ingrained in some of these projects that I had to kind of sit back and look at and feel the ones that really just had the strongest messages within each project. And I had to, like, in turn, just kind of culminate that space, that environment to usher it into its now. It was, I don't know, it was more so just something that really came natural. It wasn't nothing that I really thought like too hard about. It was something that I kind of looked at as a blank canvas. Like I kind of already felt it, you know? And what's crazy is about Duality, it's like I had previously dropped a project called Duality back in like 2016. And I always said that I would come back and do a part 2, you know, of course, right? But everything comes in 2s, but then also things come into 3s, you know? So like when I had re-released this new version of Duality, it felt renewed. It didn't feel like the part 2 from like what I previously dropped in 2016. It was just like a renewal. Yeah. And like from there, like moving forward, I do plan on eventually dropping a second piece for Duality, or I would say more so of a Trinity at this point, which is ultimately what I'm gonna call that next project, Trinity. That's really just going to like just finish that whole series for the Duality whole franchise. Yeah.
I feel it. How important is faith to you?
You say faith, everything. Faith brought me a long way. Faith brought my family a long way. Still doing that to this day. I think without faith, you don't have nothing. You don't really have much out here.
Absolutely.
That's you know, that's my guide right there. That's my anchor, faith, for sure. I appreciate that question.
Yeah, no doubt, man. You gotta stay anchored in this world, man. Like, you know, especially with all of this, like, feeling for instant gratification and, you know, like people out here chasing numbers and shit like that, man. Like, you know, that it just speaks into themselves that they don't have nothing else to look forward to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And, like, the world works full circle, man. Like, faith, once you have faith, bro, you don't worry about no numbers. You don't worry about nothing because it's already written. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
Sure. It's not, and also we can say that for everybody, you know, but then you have some of us that may get caught up, like you said, in those number games. And they feel like they gotta really attend to doing that, or just like feeling like they have to capture whatever is trendy and just kind of stepping outside of themselves. And it's a tricky game to play.
For sure. Like it's like a catch-22 though, because you know what I'm saying? Like by chasing trends, like especially when you first starting off, it's a way that you can figure out what you like. Right. You know what I'm saying? Or like what works for you, what your fans like, things like that. But like at the same time, like once you good, there's really no need to step outside of like that unless you want to. When you feel something else like taking you out of your element, that's something completely different. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
for sure. Something that just naturally clicks with you, and because there's nothing wrong with the dope shit that's out here. Even if it's the trendy shit. You know, there's a lot of dope shit out here. There's a lot of different things out here. There's a lot of shit that probably even would rub niggas the wrong way. Just off of first connections, but then you'll start to understand everybody has a story, you know. So everybody they have their different ways of going about it. We all have our different ways of communicating with one another. But I think more than anything, the one thing that really sticks with all of us is vibrations, right? Sound, the energy, the frequencies, and we all communicate off of frequency, off of sound, you know.
No, I definitely second that, man. And I mean, the free agents, as you say, you know what I'm saying? They could definitely tell it, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're a boom bap rapper and you hop on a trap beat, they want to listen to your story on like that frequency. You know what I'm saying? Like they understand what's going down. They may not like the original song, but like they like what you got to say. You know what I'm saying? So it could go both ways, but like just not being able to step into uncharted territory, you know what I'm saying? And like have that faith. That's what it's all about, for real, for real.
For sure. I could totally agree with you.
Walk me through your average day, bro. What's the average day with Jay Archer?
Hey, man. I'd say no 2 days are the same. For a young nigga, man.
I feel it.
Nah, aside from that, I mean, on an average day for me, these days has been working. You know, whether I'm in my workshop or I'm at the workshop, you know, I'm continuously working. The average day for me would more so just be, I don't know, the story of your average underdog story, you know. I guess in a sense, I won't even use the word average. That's probably the wrong term, but definitely I'm no different than anybody else that's working. You know, they working their way towards just being something within their lives, building a purpose around the environment, within their environment, around their people, for themselves. For me, it's waking up in the AM, early in the AM, before fucking 4 or 5 a.m. Get myself situated, hopping out to get ready to make my commute to work, over to the workshop, get shit done. Make sure I get that out the way. After that, making my commute back, back around the way, and just communicating with my brothers, my cousins, my family, my loved ones, or communicating with myself, being just in my space and refining myself mentally, energetically, man, lyrically, creatively.
What are some of the things that you do on the commute?
Listen to music, man. That's what gets me through anything out here, man. Like music, that shit, it allows me to just float, you know, like just float past anything else that's around me that may not really need my attention at the moment, you know. It's always music, man. If it's not music, I'm really just taking in the world. I could say that too. I'm really just listening. I like to listen. Sometimes I like to people watch. I don't want to sound like a fucking weirdo saying that shit, but you know, it's
all good, man. You know, you gotta appreciate life sometimes, man, and just take that outside look in, you know.
Real shit. Especially being in the city, man. Like, it's like you see a lot of interesting shit.
That's why I asked about the commute, man, because you know, I'm sure that you be writing music, you know what I mean, while you on the train or something, you know what I'm saying?
There's actually been a minute since I've done that. Can't lie to you, but I definitely, for sure, get fucking inspiration on a day-to-day basis, bro. Just,
I feel
it could be a bar that'll come, you know, just or overhearing a particular conversation, whether it sounds some shit that sounded outlandish, or like just regular, or seeing couples on trains, you know, just seeing interaction amongst one another. That's definitely
that sparked the inspiration.
Facts.
Yeah, man. Any books that you're reading or that you have read that changed your life forever?
Yeah, I read a lot of self-help books. One book in particular that always helped me. I give credit to my big bro Mustafa from out Philly. He put me onto this book called The Secret by Rhonda Burns. I'm not sure if you...
I definitely read that. I read a lot of self-help books too, man. That shit
love it. What would be yours in particular that you fuck with?
I mean, this one isn't necessarily like self-help, but a book that I recommend all the time on the show, and just like to everybody. I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's called Steal Like an Artist. And it's just like, it's like it's a short book by Austin Kleon, and basically, man, it just walks around like how, like, no matter who you're inspired by, like, the imposter syndrome that we get, like thinking that if we do something like somebody else that we're copying them, it's not really like true, because like even if you try to dance like Michael, you're never gonna dance like Michael. You know what I'm saying?
So,
if you try to sing like Michael, you're never gonna sing like Michael. It may sound like him and it might give you your own lane, you know what I'm saying? But like I don't know, bro. It just dives in a whole like deep shit, man, and it truly inspired me to just look at the world differently. A whole bunch of other books though. Asking is Given. That's a dope one.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I haven't read that yet. But
yeah,
just because you mentioned it, I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, nah, that one is definitely dope. You said The Secret.
Yeah, The Secret.
Rick Rubin's book is real dope too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm Think and Grow Rich. That's definitely one of my.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's a lot. I could say a lot of different books.
I always ask all the artists, man, because like you know, different people that you talk to and stuff like that, like you know, whoever sitting there resonating with you right now, man, may hear a book for like the third time or the second time or whatever, maybe the first time, and be like, yo, I gotta pick that up. Just like what you said about that book that I said.
Yeah, no, definitely.
The Alchemist is a good one too for any.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah, I've actually listened to the audio book. I never read it. I've always listened to the audio book.
That joint is fire, man. And I'm not really into like, you know, like the fantasy books type shit, man. But like that one took me another place, man. It's definitely for all the dreamers, bro, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely got a lot of love for that book, for sure.
What sacrifices do you feel like you've made to get where you're at right now?
I mean, shit, I got a ways to go. I think for the most part, it's been time. You know, it's been time. Whether it's been with friends, old friends, shit, new friends. A lot of times being sacrificed just to having to work to be able to have the resources or the means to be able to move forward with what it is that I'm on a mission to complete. You know, so a lot of times just being kind of put to the side, where I just say I won't go and do that because I'd rather do this. I'd much rather be over here in the studio instead of going to that party. You know, even some days or previously some days if I didn't go to work because I wanted to, you know, record or I wanted to like get a particular project done. I'm one of those type, you know, like if I feel some shit like and I gotta move on it, I'm going to move on it. And
you gotta make that sacrifice.
Yeah, facts. It's not really gonna be much talking. The less talk, more moves type shit.
You mentioned the workshop. What type of work do you do?
Shit, I mean, outside of music, I work with my hands, man. I'm pretty good with my hands, needless to say, you know. So like the space that I'm in currently, shit, shout outs to my brother Ricky, man. He put me on to the situation that I'm in currently. Okay. Pretty much working with home improvement and whatnot, whether it's rooftop interior design. So that's been something I've been doing since 2020, pre-pandemic, and I kind of brought it out to the city. So I was out in Virginia Beach for a little bit, out in 7 cities, kind of working with him and whatnot. And then I brought it back home, and that's something I really started to take a liking into. Just because I don't know, just being even during the pandemic, I was one of the guys that was just working, you know, what they call them essentials, right? Just working in that space with the essentials. And over that time, one of the things I come to learn, especially being, I'm an East Coast baby for life, you know, East Coast. Already. You know, Brooklyn made me, East Coast raised me. But during the time when I was in the South, like, one of the things that I learned that I would respect most is being out there working, was just that grit, that grit and that hospitality as well, just as just the maturity, the maturity that comes with being in a space where like if you're not doing anything else, like you working, you know what I'm saying? Like you working, you learning some shit, you learning how to fucking put a door on the hinges, you know, you learn how to you know, you learn how to work on crops, you learn how to just do all these different things, whether it's fishing, hunting, just certain things that I learned during my time in the South.
It's definitely a melting pot, bro. The South is definitely a melting pot. Like Yeah, one day you may go fishing with your homie. The next day, man, you out partying.
Yo, the next day you might be somewhere in the woods with a getting deer, like you know, helping with fucking with firewood. You know, there's so many different things. Yeah, nah, but I really took a liking into that, and just coming back home just with certain things that I picked up helped me out a lot. So like from outside of music, I'm really doing that, just learning more so just the essentials, you know, the things that truly matters. I say, yeah, for sure.
How do you deal with creative block if ever you have those moments that, like, you know, nothing seems like it's coming out or going right?
Probably watching films. Watching films is just capturing inspiration from different creators, whether it's from visual creations or other artists too. You know, it don't even have to be another rapper, another MC. It could be a R&B artist. It could be a DJ. You know, it could be a documentary. You know, that I'm watching. And just certain things I pick up, just whether even if I'm just stepping outside. You know, just for the most part, it's kind of just viewing everything around me. You know, and not being just too stuck in myself.
Feel it. What are 3 of your favorite movies?
My first, probably say 300. That's probably my most favorite movie. I Am Legend, second. And then my third is probably between Fresh. I don't know if you heard of that movie. It's early 90s. It came out. Shit, either that or Sucker Punch.
That was.
I don't know if you seen it. Yeah, that film.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites for sure. So like, yeah,
that's a dope list, man.
Yeah.
What would you say is 3 of your favorite albums that kind of sparked your career and your sound into what it is today?
Top 3, say, probably say Kingdom Come, Hove, Watch the Throne, for sure. And To Pimp a Butterfly.
That's
give
crazy.
That To Pimp a Butterfly for me, that's like my number 1 favorite rap album of all time, hands down.
Yeah, that's a crazy list right there, man.
Yo, give me your top 3, man. Give me your big 3 albums.
Man, like I would definitely say, and this list always change, but right now where it's at,
I can see
some
Doom,
Food. I'ma say Earl, I Don't Like Shit, I Don't Go Outside.
Go Outside, yeah, shit.
I'm gonna just say Kid Cudi, the first Man on the Moon. And that's just right now. That's right now, like where I'm at.
Yeah, that's a solid big 3. I ain't gonna hold you. Here's a fun fact, man. Me and MF, we share the same birthday, man. 7/13. Yeah, facts.
What's your most memorable moment on the come up for you?
It's my most memorable moment so far. Yeah, I think my most memorable moment hasn't really come yet. I don't know. I feel like I'm living in the middle of this shit. Like,
I feel it.
It's all like, it's all kind of.
That's an acceptable answer, bro.
Much appreciated. Like, it's hard to kind of like gauge that right now, but I'm not saying that to say that I'm not grateful for anything that's happened already, because I definitely am. So anybody that's helped me, or just like, the dope ass experiences that I've went through so far, they definitely all matter.
But more than anything,
yeah, exactly. Needless to say, there you go. Thanks.
For sure. Do you have any studio habits or rituals that you swear by, like to kind of get you in the groove of things?
Yo, one of the realest things for me that I'm starting to admit now is that I don't like nobody that's not recording in the studio. I don't like that shit. Like
that's why I got a home studio, bro.
Yeah, fact. Being able to record in your space, hell yeah. I love doing that as well myself. But whenever I'm like not at the crib recording, I'm in the studio. It's definitely just me and the engineer, or like whatever artist that I'm working with at that period. I'm not really into like everybody just congregating, loitering and shit in the studio.
Wasting time, especially like as an independent artist, bro. When you go to studios and you're paying for studio time, bro,
you don't even got time to be playing. Like
you sitting here, you know, smoking, chilling, drinking, like, bro, we ain't got no time for that. You better come with your songs ready. You better come with the beat, like.
No bullshit. I don't even like to fucking smoke and drink while I'm in the session. Like, I can't do that.
For real.
That shit. And if I am doing it, the song is already situated.
It's already done. Yeah, you waiting for other people to record.
Yeah, there you go.
I feel it. What do you feel like is the most frustrating part of creating, and how did you overcome it?
Most frustrating part would probably be, I don't know, maybe just feeling like you just in your head too much sometimes. You know, in the middle of like just being creative. I remember hearing a quote that Michael Jackson actually said. He said that usually it's the first thought that comes within you that you'll put on a piece of paper that's usually the one. And a lot of times we'll second guess ourselves and feeling like, you know, whether we just crumble up that paper, throw it away, you know, like I just got to do it over. Sometimes it's that first initial idea. You know, even if it wasn't necessarily those particular lyrics in that format that in which you was going to present it, but just the idea from those lyrics, you picking apart from those ideas and you refining yourself, you refining the message. Shit, they even come up with a chorus from those beginning lyrics. You know, if it was like a fucking verse you was writing and just kind of stemming from that, or just the concept from like those particular bars that you wrote and just that stemming from that. I don't know, creation always creates, if that makes sense. You know, creation always, it always gives birth, like constantly. It's like the universe in itself, you know, it just extracts, it pulsates and just gives and give. If you allow yourself to just feel that and allow that to be, it comes, you know, and allowing things to be such. My bad.
Nah, you good, bro. You mentioned overthinking as an artist. What's a question that you're constantly asking yourself as an artist?
How could I get listeners to understand me better? You know, I think one of the things that I'm working on now is just wanting to be just kind of understood a little bit better, you know, in terms of just me as a person, and how that ultimately just reflects me as an artist. You know, I always say that at times, me as a person and me as an artist could be two different people. If that makes sense. I think, you know, depending on the message that I want to get out, because I think sometimes, whether it's just a feeling that you have that you want to get, whether it be frustration that you want to get out and shit that you do feel, you know, that you definitely standing on, that you touch on, you speak on, but just kind of cleansing yourself of that, you know.
For sure.
And like being able to look back at that and knowing that your plan is to move forward just from that particular outlook that you have within yourself, that you share to the world, and allowing yourself to evolve. I think we all have to allow ourselves to evolve. You know, I don't think we're ever the same. Shit, what they say, like, biologically, within ourselves change, you know, on the daily, by minutes, by seconds, you know, so like, I don't know, I take this shit for what it is, and these days I'm starting to just allow myself to be perfectly imperfect, you know, hence the name Duality for this.
Nah, that's fire. What's some advice that you would tell your younger self when first starting out?
Be honest. Be honest with yourself. That's why I tell my younger self to be honest with myself, meaning that I can't allow myself to be withdrawn from experiences that will ultimately like mold me into who I am today. We all got to go through our experiences, our different trials, errors. like just all these shit to now and to hereafter, man. This shit is we all a work in progress. So
for sure,
that probably is one thing that I definitely.
But yo, we got less than a minute left. What's coming up next for you? Let the people know.
Shit, hey, listen. Currently, I'm working on this project. Me and my guys out here in the city. I got this project I'm working on. It's actually like a playlist. It's like low key like a compilation tape. It's called Nicholas Vegas Playlist. So my middle name is actually Nicholas. You know, Nicholas Vegas for me. It's like my alter ego. He kind of actually stemmed from just this recent project from Duality, for real. And it kind of just really just came naturally, you know. And the idea for Nicholas Vegas is just to bet on myself.